Rejection again, and this one hits way closer to home. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get more awkward after the Met Gala snub, Harry and Meghan are now facing something even colder. A royal shutout from his own father. King Charles didn't just forget them, he made it crystal clear. No invite to the King's Trust Global Gala. Nothing.
And it's not just the Met. They were absent from all events during King Charles's US visit this week. Royal events, White House events, just a full clean sweep of not there.
While A-list icons got their golden tickets, Harry and Meghan were left sitting miles away in Montecito, watching it all unfold from a distance. Think about that for a second. How does a prince and his wife end up excluded from a gala tied directly to his own family name? Despite everything, titles, history, bloodline, they were completely cut from the list.
The snub stings particularly hard for the Duchess, who actually had a shot at attending this year's costume art-themed event, given that two of the co-chairs, Beyoncé and Venus Williams, have loose connections to her social circle.
And this wasn't the only door slammed shut. The Met Gala on May 4th? Another no-show, another missed chance for Meghan to step into that global spotlight she's always chased. So what's really going on here? People keep whispering the same thing, that wherever Meghan goes, attention follows. And not always the good kind. Some even say she always tries to steal the spotlight. And maybe, just maybe, that reputation is starting to cost them big time. Because when King Charles planned his high-profile US visit, there was one clear goal: keep it polished, controlled, and drama-free at all costs. And the easiest way to guarantee that?
Look, we've got to talk about that couple formerly known as royals, Harry and Meghan. They love to share their innermost thoughts and they love media attention, don't they? So
don't invite them at all. The night itself was dripping in luxury. Anna Wintour, Martha Stewart, Donatella Versace, Edward Enninful, every major name showed up as the king rolled out the red carpet in New York. It was a room full of power, influence, and prestige, but somehow not a single spot for his own son and daughter-in-law. Let that really sink in. A father crosses the Atlantic, laughs with celebrities, celebrates with global icons, but doesn't even reach out to Harry, who's just hours away. If King Charles wouldn't open that door, then who would? And here's where it gets even more intense, because this wasn't just about one event, it was a full-on pattern. In the same week, two of the most powerful stages in America sent the exact same message to Harry and Meghan: you're not on the list. Brutal, right?
Wednesday's Global Gala marked the 50th anniversary of the King's Trust and included A-listers like Anna Wintour, Karlie Kloss, Donatella Versace, Martha Stewart, Meghan Fahy, Leo Woodall, Amon, and Nina Dobrev. It was also co-chaired by Lionel Richie, Edward Enninful, and Charlotte Tilbury. Photos from inside the celebration show Richie and the monarch shaking hands, as well as taking turns at the podium.
And when you look closer, it starts to make sense. Anna Wintour has always had deep respect for the royal family. She's watched everything unfold, the interviews, the headlines, the fallout, and insiders say that didn't sit well with her at all. So when the Met Gala guest list came together, was this really a surprise or a silent decision already made? Now picture this. If Harry had shown up, what would he even be there as? No official role, no royal duties, no clear place in that world anymore. Just another face in a room full of power players. And that absence, it didn't feel random. It felt planned, controlled, intentional. Because the last thing organizers wanted was the spotlight drifting toward controversy instead of celebration.
Buckingham Palace says Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will no longer be working members of the royal family. In a statement, Queen Elizabeth said Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be loved members of my family, but she recognizes the challenges and intense scrutiny they've experienced. As a result, Meghan and Harry will no longer receive public funds and will no longer use their titles.
But the real sting, this wasn't just any gala. This was King Charles' gala. His charity, his legacy, his inner circle on full display. An invite here isn't just a ticket, it's a statement. It says you matter, you're trusted, you still belong.
Meghan Markle not invited to the Met Gala again? Shocking. The biggest fashion night of the year. Anna Wintour, Beyoncé, billionaires everywhere. And somehow, the future of fashion didn't make the guest list? But I thought you were going into fashion, Meghan. No one assumed that, Megs. Literally no one.
So what does it mean when that invite never comes? It means the opposite is just as loud. Behind palace walls, things have finally been calm, at least compared to the chaos of the past. And bringing Harry and Meghan back into that mix,
Know how they could expect that after all of this time, we would still just be silent if there is an active role that the firm is playing in perpetuating falsehoods about us.
that risks headlines, tension, and a media storm the palace clearly isn't ready to handle again. So the door stays closed, for now. And you know they felt it, because one invite like this could have changed everything.
Prince Harry is really keen to get his father involved, which I can tell you now Prince William will not let happen.
New connections, elite circles, fashion deals, global influence. It all starts with one yes. That single moment could have pulled them right back into relevance, maybe even reopened doors like the Met Gala itself. But none of that happened. Instead, what we're seeing looks like distance, not just socially, but institutionally. And it's got people asking one uncomfortable question: what if things had gone differently?
Prince Harry is serving on the front line in Afghanistan with the British Army, and British officials say the third in line to the throne has been in the war-torn country since December. Harry is a lieutenant in the Blues and Royals Regiment. The head of the army says the 23-year-old's conduct has been exemplary.
Because not long ago, stepping away from royal life looked bold, powerful, strategic. But after the interviews, the Netflix deals, and the very public fallout, is it starting to look like something else entirely? Was walking away really freedom? Or the biggest misstep they never saw coming? And now the cracks are getting impossible to ignore, because those big opportunities they once counted on, they're starting to disappear. One by one, the doors that used to swing open are now staying firmly shut.
The King and Queen's visit to the 9/11 Memorial in New York, then on to Harlem and the New York Public Library rounded off a perfect tour. Meanwhile, Harry is trapped in this odd space where he still wants the status of royalty. This is, of course, while spending most of his time, along with wife Meghan, disrespecting the institution that gave him relevance in the first place.
And without that royal stamp of approval, everything feels different, colder, harder to reach.
Even the one thing closest to Harry's heart, the Invictus Games, isn't untouchable. That's his legacy project, the one he poured everything into. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Without royal backing, even something that powerful can start to lose momentum, because that support, it's not just symbolic, it's what gives events global weight, attention, and credibility.
Buckingham Palace has confirmed that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will not be returning as working members of the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan stepped down from royal duties last year and moved to the United States.
Take that away, and suddenly things get complicated, fast. And the distance between Harry and the royal family, it's not shrinking. It's growing wider by the day. Moments that once defined him are now happening without him. Military ceremonies, remembrance events, occasions where he once stood front and center, he's no longer part of them, despite his real service in Afghanistan and the identity he built around it. But once he stepped away from royal duties, those roles didn't just pause, they disappeared. Now it's King Charles and Prince William carrying the crown.
Sky News contributor Louise Roberts compares this royal trip to the recent phony Sussex tour of Australia.
This week's US visit has been a triumph for King Charles. It has also been a fairly humiliating reminder of the difference between the monarchy and Montecito.
Showing up, representing, holding tradition together, while Harry watches from the outside. That line is clear now. There are those inside the circle and those who walked away. And here's the reality hitting hard. What once felt like freedom is starting to look expensive. The invites fading, the ceremonies moving on without him, the identity he once held shifting in ways no one expected. So now the question hangs in the air. In a world where royal approval still means everything, how do you rebuild influence after walking away from the very thing that gave you power in the first place? And just when you think things couldn't get more strained, the personal side of this story takes an even colder turn. Because behind all the headlines and public appearances, the relationship between Charles and Harry doesn't seem to be healing. It's slipping further apart.
You mean on any given day, the surrounds of the Opera House have got more people there than we saw for Harry and Meghan. It's like people avoided the area to avoid them. And there was that footage from Bondi Beach where people are just, suntanning whilst the media pack walks through.
That woman's my new hero.
This is like, leave us alone. We're at the beach. We don't want to see this spectacle.
Even when they're in the same country, breathing the same air, a real father-son meeting just doesn't happen. how does it get to that point? Royal duties always come first, that's the rule. And family? It keeps getting pushed further down the list, again and again, until reconciliation feels like something that's always later, but never now.
And then comes another flashpoint. Harry and Meghan's overseas trips have people talking, and not in a good way. Because to many critics, those tours look a lot like the royal visits they promised to step away from. Wasn't the deal clear? No more part-time royal roles? The palace reportedly wasn't pleased, and that only added more tension to an already fragile situation. But here's the twist. When they showed up in Australia, the reaction wasn't exactly overwhelming. So now the question is, if the palace is frustrated and the public is losing interest, where does that leave them next? And now it's reached a point that few thought possible. Royal insiders are calling this one of the lowest moments ever between Charles and Harry. Think about that. After everything they've been through, this is where things stand now. The silence, the distance, the missed chances, it's all adding up. Yes, there's still talk of reconciliation, but right now, it feels far away, almost out of reach. And some are starting to wonder, is time quietly running out to fix this before the divide becomes permanent? Because once that gap gets too wide, can it ever really be closed? So now it comes down to this. Should King Charles keep his distance, or is it finally time to reach out and face this head-on? What would you do in his position?